Hi Mark, my name is Phil, my student number is 45 and my Chinese name is Lin Jiaqi.
And hi Mark, my name is Winnie. My Chinese name is Chen Huichun and my student number is 21.
The first round I will be the Ebert and Winnie will be the Siskel. Okay. Our first movie is Back to the Future 2. And this is one of the goofiest movies I have seen in a long time, and converted comedy about two time travelers who mess up the future and go back to the past to try to pass things up and make them come out right. The movie once again stars Michael J. Fox is the billboard hero, and Christopher Lloyd has Doc Brown, who was invented a time travel machine and now brings Fox to the year 2015 for a quick fix on the life of his son. The movie has fun with its vision of the future, including three-dimensional holographic movie, and Fox causes lots of trouble when he gets a sports almanac and realized he could travel back in time and win lots of money on sports bets. Tragedy strikes when Fox's arch enemy steals the sports magazine, goes back in time, becomes a millionaire, and in the new future marries Fox's mother. And so Fox of the man professor have to go back in time once again to try to steal the almanac before the bad guys start using it, so the present will return to the way it ought to be. And if you were confused as I am, and that's one of the charms of this movie, as a character shuttled back and forth trying to do a patch up job on the tides of destiny. Back to the Future 2 Part 2 is not as good as the original 1985 film. It doesn't have the genuine human emotion of the earlier film when Fox tries to fix up a date between his own parents, so that he will be bored. But it is a goofy and screwball movie, and I enjoyed it for what it is rather than in comparison with the earlier film.
Well, I had the same reaction to the comparison of the two. The first film had a heart to it. I don't think there's any reason why a screwball comedy couldn't take time out to have heart. In other words, I think this film would have been helped a great deal if it had a little heart to it. I think would have been true to the original picture. Instead, I found this to be very gadget-filled and really noisy in an unpleasant way, so that when I was watching it, I was seeing a lot of slapstick, a lot of racing around, and the character of Biff, the enemy of Michael J. Fox, is really the star of the second picture. I think the movie could have been called Biff in a way because it's really he dominates the whole action, and the Michael J. Fox character and his relationship with his parents, that's really just not there. The father isn't even there, and so I really found it kind of unpleasant to watch in a way, and I was looking forward to it, but it doesn't enjoy it at all.
I think maybe it will suffer because people remember that the first movie really did move them emotionally. This is not an entirely different movie,
Not as
entirely and not as good until but still okay.
For me.
Oh yes, I recommend that. I recommend it for exactly what it is. And one of the things I like was Christopher Lloyd racing around back and forth through time. He changed something here, comes out different. There he moves back here. Michael J. Fox steals the almanac. In the future, Biff gets it. Oh, Michael J. Fox goes back to 1985, that changed in 1982. I'm racing around, and that's really the charm of the movie. Is it just as a 90s?
Except that when I started to talk about the noise factor of the film and the physical action, her hard action, you seem to be nodding in agreement. That sort of.
Oh well, of course, it's a nosy action. Feels what's wrong with that.
When the noise doesn't mean anything to
no,
you.
no.
That it doesn't mean to me, not to me. Was it that noisy?
Okay, and the second round I will be the Siskel.
And I will be Ebert. Okay. Our first movie is Back to the Future Part 2, and this is one of the goofiest movies I've seen in a long time, a convert comedy about two time travelers who mess up the future and go back to the past to try to patch things up and make them come out right. The movie once again stars Michael J. Fox is a bewildered hero and Christopher Lloyd has Stockborn, who was invented a time travel machine and now brings Bugs to the year 2015 for a quick fix on the life of his son. The movie has fun with its vision of the future, including three-dimensional holographic movie, and Fox causes lots of trouble when he gets a sports almanac and realizes he could travel back in time and win lots of money on sport bets. Tragedy strikes when Fox arch enemy steals the sport magazine, goes back in time, becomes a millionaire, and in the new future marries Fox's mother. And so Fox of the main professor have to go back in time once again to try to steal the almanac before the bad guys start using it, so the present will return the way it ought to be. And if you are confused, as am I, and that's one of the charms of this movie, as the characters shuttle back and forth trying to do patch-up job on the ties of destiny. Back to the Future Part 2 is not as good as the original 1985 film. It doesn't have the genial human emotion of the earlier film, where Fox tries to fix up a date between his own parents so that he will be bored, but it's a goofball and screwball movie, and I enjoy it for what it is rather than in comparison with the early film.
Well, I had the same reaction to the comparison of the two, and the first film had a heart to it. And I don't think there's any reason why a screwball comedy couldn't take time out to have heart. In other words, I think this film would have been helped a great deal if it had a little heart to it. I think would have been true to original picture. Instead, I found this to be very gadget-filled and really noise in an unpleasant way, so that when I was watching it, I was seeing a lot of slapstick, a lot of racing around, and the character or beef the enemy of Michael J. Fox is really the star of the second picture. I think the movie could have been called Beef in a way because it's really he dominates the whole action, and Michael J. Fox character and his relationship with his parents, that's really just not there. The father isn't even there. And so I really found it kind of unpleasant to watch in a way, and I was looking forward to it, but it doesn't enjoy at all.
I think maybe it will suffer because people remember that the first movie really didn't move them emotionally. This is not an entirely different movie.
And not as good
and not an entirely and not as good, but still okay.
Not for me.
Oh yes. I recommend it for exactly what it is, and one of the things I like was Christopher Lloyd racing around back and forth through time. He changes something here, comes out different there. He moved back here. Michael J. Fox steals the almanac in the future. Beef gets it for Michael J. Fox. Goes back to 1985 that changed 1982. I'm racing around, and that's really the charm of the movie. Is it just in as nice?
Except that when I started to talk about the noise factor of the film and the physical action, hard action, you seem to be nodding in agreement. That's sort of
well, of course, it's a noisy action film. What's wrong with that?
When the noise doesn't mean anything to you.
No.
That is doesn't lead to that to me was in that noise.